welcome back to my channel. Today you are in for a treat because I am going to be repotting my Alocasia amazonica. I picked up this little beauty from IKEA down in Exeter a few weeks ago, and it is a beautiful, beautiful plant. I've been looking for one of these forever, so I was really excited when I spotted one in IKEA. I was on a plant ban, but it was only 7 pounds, so I had to. Anyways, I get a ton of questions on Instagram asking me when you should repot your plant. Well, there are a few indicators, but the easiest way to tell is if your roots are popping out of the holes on the bottom of the pot. So let's come in for a closer look. So as you can see, there are roots popping out of the bottom of this pot. So I am going to repot that. I got this a few weeks ago and I waited to repot it just because it moved from IKEA to my boyfriend's parents' house to a car for 3.5 hours to our flat in a really, really hot weather in like a week and a half, and I just wanted it to kind of get settled. It's putting out new growth, it looks great, so I am gonna repot that up. Another great way of telling whether or not you should repot your plants is if your leaves are starting to grow out smaller. Some plants, the leaves grow bigger as the plant matures, but like a pothos or like a philodendron, something like that, like generally if that could be root bound if the leaves are coming out like teeny tiny. But yeah, I'm gonna get started. So I also get a lot of questions about what potting soil I use. Just your regular old indoor plant compost. So there's bark inside this one, which just means that it's better for draining. I've got my spoon because I don't have a little shovel yet. Just ordered one. And I've got my terracotta pot. I like using terracotta pots. I always make sure that it has a hole on the bottom, but the reason I like terracotta is that they're cheap and they look good, and they're also good for sucking out extra moisture from a plant, which is good when you're just working with general indoor plant mix. First up is getting your plant out of the pot. So what I like to do is just squeeze the nursing pot to loosen up the soil a little bit. It's best to do this on the day that you have to water the plant because taking a plant out of a pot when it's wet is a nightmare. So now I'm just gonna lightly tug, and wow, look at that baby. Look at those roots on the bottom. This definitely needed to be repotted, so I'm glad that I'm doing this. All right, so now that I've got this out of the nursing pot, I'm gonna grab my terracotta pot. And just so you know, when you're repotting a plant, you should only go up like 2 centimeters in pot size so that the plant has extra room, but it's not gonna drown in like the space that you're giving it. So I'm just gonna take some soil to put on the bottom. You want your plant to lay in the same spot that it was in your nursing pot, so you don't want it to be like sticking out anymore or under more, whatever. I don't know if that makes sense, but I hope it does. Basically, you just want it to be the same height that it was before. So I generally put in like 2 inches of soil in the pot before I will put the actual plant inside of it. All right, so next up, you're gonna loosen up the roots. So these are pretty wound up, so I'm just gonna loosen them a little bit. Not too much though, because they're not that long, but you wanna loosen them so that they can start making their way into the new soil. Now that's all I'm gonna do, but what I'm gonna do now is remove some of the soil. Only a little bit because this is pretty good soil and it's not too bad. So depending on how root bound it is how you determine how much soil you remove. But I'm not gonna remove too much because it's a little wet of root ball. So I am going to now stick this in here like so and give it a little shake to position it correctly. And now I'm going to fill it up with soil. It's at a good height. And another great thing about putting it in with new soil is that the soil has fertilizer in it, so it will promote healthy growth. So now that it's in the pot, I'm gonna just put it on my saucer and I'm gonna water it. And the best way to water your plant is to water it until it starts trickling out of the bottom, but to do it slowly so that the roots have enough time to soak up that water. And that's it. That's how you repot a plant. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. I'll be coming out with new content every Sunday, and I hope that you liked it. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you soon.